好，尊敬的各位来宾、各位朋友、女士们、先生们，大家中午好。今天上午在清华大学中央主楼举行了第11届世界和平论坛的开幕式。这个开幕式非常成功，我们非常荣幸地邀请到中华人民共和国国家副主席韩正先生到会做主旨演讲。他给我们阐释了中国推进人类命运共同体的理念和路径，强调了中国式的现代化是走和平发展道路的现代化，并且提出了非常重要的建议。我们也非常荣幸邀请到罗塞夫女士、罗塞夫行长，今天上午做了一个在现场与嘉宾们进行了深入的互动和交流。今天中午我们利用午餐会的时间，我们又非常荣幸地邀请到一位重量级的嘉宾来给我们做主旨演讲，他就是中国共产党第20届中央委员会委员、中共中央对外联络部部长刘建超先生。让我们用热烈的掌声对刘建超先生光临我们的会场表示欢迎和感谢。刘部长，很多嘉宾可能都比较熟悉了。他1986年大学毕业，到英国牛津大学留学，回国以后就加入中国外交部，是我们资深的外交家。曾经做过菲律宾、印度尼西亚的大使，这个在外交方面呢有很多自己的见解，也做过我们外交部的发言人。下面我们用热烈的掌声欢迎刘部长做演讲。
尊敬的王新勤校长，尊敬的各位嘉宾、女士们、先生们、朋友们，非常高兴出席第11届世界和平论坛，更是非常荣幸在今天这个午餐会上发表演讲。和平论坛自2012年创立以来，为世界各国人士深入交流，加强国际安全合作，促进世界和平发挥了积极作用。上午聆听了韩正副主席的主旨讲话和罗塞夫女士的主旨演讲，很有感触，也深受启发。今天我想紧扣和平这个关键词，从3个方面同大家分享几点看法。那么为了方便这个与国际朋友进行沟通交流，下面也请允许我用英语讲。So, ladies and gentlemen, for the convenience of the international audience, please allow me to switch to English. And here I'd like to share with you some of my observations on peace. First, the challenges to peace. Peace is an eternal theme of humanity. It has been most cherished, but has also been so fragile and hard-won. Historically, wars and conflicts have long plagued humanity. Ever since the dawn of human society, war has often been used as a means to grab and protect interests, wreaking great havoc worldwide. From ancient times till now, countless powerful empires and splendid civilizations have perished in the fires of war. Studies show that in the past 5,000 years of recorded history, over 14,500 wars ravaged the world, claiming more than 3.6 billion lives. Only about 300 years were free of wars. If the 5,000-year history were condensed to 24 hours, war would have lasted for about 23 hours. In reality, we are yet to escape the historical cycle of war and peace. Wars. The specter of war and conflict is still haunting us today. Lasting peace and universal security are still a rarity that people are yearning for. In particular, as the world is undergoing profound changes, the international community is witnessing a major shift in the global balance of power, a collision of thoughts, and the rise of major geopolitical conflicts. Conventional and non-conventional security issues are intertwined. Deep-seated problems have been amplified and exacerbated, and geopolitical hotspots keep heating up. As some countries have been peddling confrontation under the pretext of competition, factors of instability, uncertainty, and insecurity are on the rise, and the risk of camp-based systematic confrontation goes higher. There is still a long way to go to seek global consensus, promote cooperation, safeguard the international order, and uphold peace. In terms of root cause, the pursuit of selfish interests and disregard for rules are prominent obstacles toward peace. Recently, my colleagues and I have engaged in in-depth conversations with people from different countries and regions in the world. What we heard the most was the fear of war and the concern about the future of peace. Dreadful as conflicts are and wars are, we should devote more thinking to the underlying causes. So what are the causes? There could be historical complications, imbalances in power, and cultural entrenchment. But more importantly, there could be hunger for hegemony and contempt for internationally recognized rules. In this era, while in no short supply of the domineering powers busy exporting violence and ganging up to contain and suppress others, what is lacking is the inclusiveness that enables us to understand, accommodate, and appreciate each other. And the spirit of foster open and honest communication, calm reflection, the search for fundamental causes, and the exploration of the way forward, like what we are doing here today. Second, path to peace. Albert Einstein once said, "It is impossible to achieve peace as long as every single action is taken with a possible future conflict in view." The leading point of view of all political action should be, what can we do to bring about a peaceful coexistence and even loyal cooperation of all nations? Let me share my observations on the path to peace that China pursues. Peace in the genes of the Chinese nation. China has never wavered in our pursuit of peace. The Chinese people love peace, and the Chinese culture advocates peace. The philosophy of seeking harmony is something that has sustained the long-standing civilization of the Chinese nation for 5,000 years. Our centuries-old tradition of cherishing empathy, non-aggression, etiquette, trust, no spirit of peace and harmony. The Chinese character of peace, which is He, consists of right ear on the left and a mouth on the right. It shows that peace is not only underpinned by food security, but also by communication and exchanges. In the Chinese culture, peace is broadly defined a concept which stresses the rejection of wars and peaceful coexistence as equals with amity. What's more, it highlights mutual appreciation and inspiration among civilizations. Building on the traditional Chinese culture, the Communist Party of China has further developed China's theory and practice of the path to peace. The CPC remains true to its original aspiration and founding mission of seeking happiness for the Chinese people and rejuvenation for the Chinese nation, and pursuing human progress and world harmony. Over the years, it has rallied and led the Chinese people in a concerted effort to pursue, uphold, and safeguard peace amidst the sea changes of history and times. With regard to peace theory, the CPC has developed a theoretical framework of its path to peace by adopting a holistic approach and the thinking that all things are universally connected. In recent years, General Secretary Xi Jinping has proposed the vision of building a human community with a shared future. To answer the question concerning the destiny of humanity as a whole, and later on, he put forward the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative to address issues concerning growth, peace, and inter-civilization exchanges. The vision of a human community stresses the necessity of coexistence in peace and harmony as mankind rises and falls together. The GDI, with a focus on common development, aims at laying a solid material foundation for lasting peace. The GSI, giving special attention to the security challenges of all countries, provides a new approach to breaking security predicaments. The GCI, which advocates robust international exchanges and inter-civilization interactions for mutual learning, aims to remove the breeding ground for wars and conflicts by reducing differences and enhancing consensus. The vision of a human community and the three global initiatives are components of a unity, with the former being the overarching goal and the latter its major pillars. They complement and reinforce each other, and together form the CPC's outlook on the world and on peace in the new era. With regard to practice, the vision of human community with a shared future has been incorporated into multiple UN documents, as the three major initiatives are in essence aligned with the purposes and principles of the UN Charter and respond to people's aspiration for peace, development, fairness, justice, and win-win cooperation. It is proven by practice that China's path to peace provides effective solutions to security predicaments. China's position on the Ukraine crisis to facilitate peace talks and political settlement has become an international consensus. The rapprochement between Saudi Arabia and Iran in Beijing also triggers wider reconciliation among countries in the region. Third, how to light up the beacon of peace. The key to ending chaos lies in people's heart. Light in our heart, the footsteps of peace are unstoppable. Under the new circumstances, lighting up the beacon of world peace is the common causes of humanity, one that calls for concerted efforts of all countries and peoples in the world. We are delighted to see that more countries, international organizations, and civil societies have pitched in with painstaking efforts and many constructive ideas. And I believe we need to consolidate the material foundation for peace by achieving shared development. Development is the foundation for peace. Only when countries enjoy prosperity and development can peace be sustained and people's dream for a better life realized. We need to practice multilateralism, accelerate the implementation of the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, strengthen South-North and South-South cooperation, and boost greater synergy in process. We must stand against unilateralism and protectionism and reject attempts to build walls and barriers and fences or seek decoupling and disruption of chains. What we need is to promote inclusive development that benefits all and work to address unbalanced and inadequate development within and among countries. The special needs of developing countries should be accommodated so that all countries share the fruits of development in a fairer way. The sole pursuit of selfish interests that leads to polarization must be opposed to. So are the attempts by some developed countries to widen their lead over developing countries by leveraging for their own gains their first mover advantages in market economy and science and technology. With a people-centered approach, we must bear in mind that the very purpose of our work is to improve people's well-being and realize their well-rounded development. Our development is always for people and by the people, and its fruits shared by the people. The interests of capital should never come before that of the people, and we strongly oppose to sacrificing the interests of the overwhelming majority for the gains of only a few. We need to build the wings of security for peace with a focus on universal security. An ancient Chinese philosopher once observed, "Stability brings a country prosperity, while instability leads to a country for the development and progress of human civilization. Without security, nothing can be accomplished. To safeguard world peace and security, we need to stay committed to the vision of pursuing common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable security and indivisible security. We must reject the zero-sum thinking where one's gains means others' losses and stand opposed to the Cold War mentality and block confrontation. All countries, big or small, strong or weak, rich or poor, are all equal members of the international community. Hence, we need to respect and support their rights to choose their own development paths and social systems. We must oppose hegemony and power politics in all their forms. Say no to the imposition of the rules formulated by only a small group on the international community, and the interference in other countries' internal affairs under any pretext. We need to promote strategic communication, enhance mutual trust in areas of security, and work to resolve differences and disputes through peaceful dialogue and consultation. We must support all endeavors in this regard and encourage conflicting parties to build trust, settle disputes, and promote security through equal-footed dialogue. We need to consolidate the cultural foundation for peace by promoting mutual learning among civilizations. To realize lasting peace, we not only need economic foundation and security guarantee, but also the power of civilization. Exchanges and mutual learning among civilizations are an important prerequisite for countries to trust each other and jointly uphold peace. We should respect the diversity of civilizations, uphold equality, mutual learning, dialogue, and inclusiveness among civilizations, and stay committed to the new world civilization pattern, featuring tolerance, coexistence, and mutual experience. We should guard against cultural entrenchment and clashes, and feelings of superiority, and any attempt to use cultural differences to stoke conflicts and disputes. We advocate the common values of peace, development, equity, justice, democracy, and freedom. We need to appreciate the perceptions of values by different civilizations with an open mind and respect the explorations of different peoples to turn values into reality. One's own values or models should never be imposed on others. Instead of following the beaten track, we need to promote the inheritance and innovation of civilizations and share material and cultural outcome of such innovations. We should embrace international people-to-people exchanges and cooperation to advance mutual understanding and friendship among people of all countries. We oppose the indulgence in self-admiration and disruptions to people exchanges and links. Ladies and gentlemen, only with commitment can we ever get things done. As we in a century changes, it is our hope that countries and peoples can bury the hatchet, treat each other with mutual respect, mutual support, and mutual accommodation, restore the trust among countries and their peoples, build confidence for world peace, development, and progress, and work together with one another to pursue peace in the new era. As the Chinese saying goes, a violent wind does not last for a whole morning, and a sudden rain does not last for a whole day. Despite all the challenges, as long as we stick to the right direction, aim high while stay grounded, and uphold peace with commitment, the light of peace will eventually shine in every corner of the world, and humanity will enjoy lasting peace, tranquility, and prosperity. Thank you very much for your attention. Questions?
感谢刘部长的精彩的演讲，我提议我们再次用掌声对刘部长表示感谢。
哎呦，谢谢。
下面进入互动环节，请各位嘉宾啊，有问题的话举手跟刘部长互动，然后在提问的时候啊，请做自我介绍。看看哪位嘉宾先来。
没有问题了。
那个中间有一位女士在后排的。
谢谢刘部长您好，我是香港中评社记者。我的问题是，我们知道政党外交是我国外交工作的一个重要组成部分。当前中美关系遇到了一些困难，那么中国共产党与美国两党
那个嘉宾，请你讲话的时候慢一点，因为那个有回声。
好的。
第一句话。
好的。
没听清，
我是香港中评社记者。对，刘部长您好，我们知道政党外交是我国外交的一个重要的组成部分。那当前中美关系也遇到了一些困难。中国共产党与美国两党的对话交流情况如何？为推动中美两国关系重回正轨，政党交流能做些什么？谢谢。
这个问题很好，国与国的关系啊，既表现在政府和政府之间的关系，同时也表现在其他各方面、各阶层，这个各种机制之间。那么我想呢，政党之间的关系，实际上旨在加强各国政党之间在政策的确定、在政策的执行、在政策的沟通之间的这种交流和相互的理解。如果有可能的话，还可以实现政策的对接。为什么政党这么重要？政党是一个国家的政策的一个源头，那么也是人民意志的一个代表。那么从中国人来讲，中国共产党致力于同世界各国的政党也各界人士在相互尊重、平等互利、互不干涉内政，那么相互促进、相互交流借鉴这样的基础上呢，开展民间的、政党间的、智库间的、媒体间的这样的合作。那么我们同美国呢，应该讲政党之间呢，长期以来也保持着合作。同美国的共和党也好，也同美国的议会的议员也好，那么也同美国这个各界人士、战略界、新闻界都保持着比较好的这样的接触和合作。不久前，中联部呢也同美方共同牵头举办了中国共产党同美国政党之间的政党对话。那么这对在当前中美关系遇到困难的情况下，加强政党之间对话和交流，那么能够增进理解、管控分歧，使中美关系呢能够重新回到稳定，非常重要。那么这样的对话也得到了美国很多有识之士的欢迎，那么他也希望呢这样的对话能够继续下去，所以我们也会继续同美国的政党、议会以及各界开展这样的对话，以增进了解。谢谢您。谢谢。
好，请大家继续提问。那边有一位男士，也是一位女士那位对穿黑衣服的女士，请你站起来吧，站起来，这样工作人员可以把话筒交给你。
谢谢。我来自观察者网。我的问题是，我们看到在当前的背景下，中联部和世界各国政党的对话和交流也越来越多。那么根据您的观察，各国政党对于中国共产党的哪些方面比较的感兴趣？他们最常问出的问题是什么？能不能跟我们分享一下？
谢谢。今天这好像成了记者招待会了，我又做我发言人的工作了。不过谢谢。实际上我到中联部工作大概有1年多的时间了，那么接待了可能是数不清的外国的朋友访华，那么我自己呢也到世界各地去走一走，那么同其他国家的各界人士呢进行交流。那么一个突出的感受，第一呢，就世界各国政府也好，政党也好，都对同中国共产党，也包括我们中联部，开展政策对话、开展交流持积极的态度。我刚刚从欧洲回来，那么这个很高兴今天就来到这儿和大家继续交流。那么大家最关心的问题，就是中国现在在推进社会主义中国式的社会主义现代化的进程。那么这个社会主义现代化最终的目标是什么？中国式的现代化实现了以后，对世界意味着什么？那么同时，中国如何处理同世界各国的这种如何增强互信，如何加强经贸合作，如何推进人文交流？所以应该讲，中国现在 是世界上有着重要影响的一个国家。那么中国的发展必然对世界产生这样或那样的影响。同时呢，通过我们跟各国的沟通，大家对中国式的现代化以及它的世界意义都表现出极大的兴趣，同时也加深了这种理解。同时呢，我们也向他们介绍，那么中国式的现代化的特征是什么？那么如何实现这样一个现代化？同时，我们推进这样的一个现代化，我们的世界性的目标是什么？那么也就是刚才我讲的，习近平总书记谈到了要推动构建人类命运共同体。这一点，尽管措辞各国可能有不同的看法，但其核心的要义，各国都是支持和欢迎的，也包括刚才我讲的习近平总书记提出的3个全球性的倡议。那么，发展倡议、安全倡议和这个相一致的。那么，很多国家也表现出很大的兴趣，要跟中国来推进这些倡议，至少是推进这些倡议的核心内涵能够呢得到落实。所以我觉得呢，在当今这样一个世界啊，面临着这样一个全球的安全赤字、发展赤字，是吧？和平赤字，同时呢，也面临着治理赤字这样的一个背景下，那么中国同世界的合作，同世界能够携手共进，我觉得这对世界极为重要。所以我们也愿意继续呢同世界各国深化我们之间的交流。谢谢你。谢谢。这
第8号。
Thank you very much for your very informative speech. I'm Reza from Embassy of Iran in Beijing. You mentioned in your speech about China's big endeavor in mediation between Iran and Saudi Arabia and the help of China for promoting peace and stability in the region. My question is, this is the first step for a big journey. What could be China's next moves or next initiatives for promoting peace and stabilizing the Middle East and West Asia region and help the countries of the region to remove decades of misunderstanding and misperception? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the question. I think that China has always been a part of the Middle East process and also the settlement, the search for settlement of the issues that is, confronting the Middle East countries. So we were very happy that we could play a role in finding an opportunity to bring Saudi Arabia and Iran together so that they can reach a rapprochement between them and normalize their relations. It has been 40 years before they did this. So China will continue to engage with the Middle East countries, be it the Arab countries, be it Israel and other countries. And so we, our position on the Middle East has been consistent. And so we would like to see peace, and we would like to push the peace process to continue. And we will have bilateral talks with countries concerned. For example, just a few weeks ago, President Xi Jinping had a meeting with Palestinian President Abbas, and Xi Jinping, the president, reiterated China's position on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. So things are not that easy to solve. I mean, it really takes continuous and concerted efforts and goodwill from countries involved. So we would like to work with the international community and making China's efforts in its own way in the pursuit of a solution to the problem. And China is not alone, and China will work with countries in other parts of the world in trying to find a way so that we can really see more countries are relaxing and normalizing their relations between them. So also we would like to see particularly the core issue, that is the Palestinian and Israeli conflict, be able to have an opportunity for well, relaxation, and then there's the peace process will be continued. Thank you. 谢谢，谢谢。
According to 11th World Peace Forum, the theme is how to stabilize an unstable world through consensus and cooperation. In your mind, could you tell us what are the most three important elements of consensus we should seek to forge or rebuild? Thank you.
Well, first of all, I think that in order to have consensus, well, we already have a consensus, actually. The UN Charter is the fundamental consensus that is recognized by the international community. It's no other rules. It's not the kind of rules that were formulated by some countries, but so the UN Charter is something that should be recognized and should be adhered to. So any time when we are moving away from the UN Charter and its principles, there could be troubles. So this is one. And two, I think that that there could be sophisticated and difficult issues in the world which you can and cannot expect. So when we're dealing with these unexpected and most difficult challenges, we need to embrace multilateralism. So as we say that the challenges that are confronted by the international community should be discussed among nations. So world affairs should be discussed by all the nations in the world. And third, I think the consensus would be all countries should try their best to find solutions through peaceful negotiations, peaceful talks. All countries should refrain from the use of threat or the possibility of the kind of making the other side be putting themselves in a position that they feel threatened. So I think that's why what we call the 综合安全观, the kind of universal security value, which is proposed also by President Xi Jinping. So I was talking to our European colleagues during my trip. I was telling them that, the crisis in Ukraine, no matter what is behind it, has happened. So one of the lessons that we get from this is that, after all, the security architecture in Europe has failed. Deny it or not, it has failed. So I think it's really up for the European partners, the European countries, also including Russia, Ukraine, and other countries, to think about why this happened and what could be the best choice for a future security architecture that can really ensure a lasting peace in there. So I think there are a lot of, norms and rules that can really prevent the world from wars and conflicts, so long as they are very much, honestly observed. But now the fact is that, there are a lot of speculations, there are a lot of ambitions that, drives the humanity and people into war. So I do hope that consensus could be strengthened. We are not lacking consensus, but, the kind of good consensus should be strengthened. Thank you.
好，下面请9号说这位嘉宾，工作人员把。
I'm Jaime Flor Cruz, the Philippine ambassador to China. 1972, that's 51 years ago, the United States and China managed to conduct dialogue and reach a consensus on rapprochement in spite of your differences in ideology, geopolitics. And yet now, it seems like you're finding it very difficult to coexist peacefully. What has changed? What makes it so difficult now for the two countries to coexist peacefully?
We'll just give a very short answer on this. Thank you, Jimmy. Yes, in 1972, I think with great vision of the leaders of the two countries, China and the United States, against the backdrop of a Cold War, the leaders of the two countries made the very correct decision and normalized the relations between China and the United States. Time has changed and the two countries have changed. So, but when you try to develop the relationship which could be conducive to both countries, in my idea, I would put more emphasis on what has not changed. The thing that has not changed is, number one, the common interest between the two countries. So I think the nearly 50 years of interactions between China and the United States have brought tremendous benefits to the peoples of our countries and the world. So, it ensured balance of power, mutually beneficial cooperation, contribution to world economy, and which really, push the human civilization forward. So today, if we still bear that in mind and try not to seek unilateral advantage or widening the lead by a certain country and push down the other side, I think the two countries can still be working or developing on the track, on the right track. And second, I think responsibility. At that time, the United States was one of the two superpowers, and China was none. Now today, China is not a superpower. I will not say that, but China is growing in its influence in the international affairs, and the United States continue to be the only superpower in the world. So I think, together with countries in the world, China and the United States, together with others, share the common responsibility to bring about a better world for the peoples in this world. So that has not changed. So I think that the wrong policies and wrong decisions and bad moves could really be counterproductive to the human being. So I would ask our U.S. colleagues and decision makers to really have a very clear-minded picture and strategy about what is good for China and the U.S. and what is good for the world. Thank you.
Please, more. 这个主桌。
The main table.
Excellency, my name is Suhail Mahmood and I am from Pakistan. I have two quick comments and a question. Comment and the rapprochement between China and the United States, and I should say that Pakistan was very privileged to play a facilitating role in that instance. And just last year we commemorated the 50th anniversary, and you would remember that the secret flight that took Kissinger from Rawalpindi brought to China, and then we had President Nixon's very famous visit, which led to the rapprochement. So we hope that 50 years down the line, United States and China can still find a way of working together for the good of the world and for peace and development. Secondly, you just had the 102nd anniversary of the CPC, and congratulations on that milestone as well. My question is, you have recently adopted a foreign relations law which went into effect, I think, yesterday. Could you please elaborate on the rationale, the objectives, and the intended, outcomes of this foreign relations law that China has?
I didn't really quite. So I'm very sorry, but I didn't really catch the second half of your question. The second question, second point.
The foreign relations law.
Yes. Foreign relations law.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you could just dilate on the objectives and rationale of that. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you very much. That is, I should express my appreciation to Pakistan for your contribution and what you did in 1972 and the facilitations that you offered China and the U.S. in that secret trip, which opened the door of China-U.S. relations. And here, days ago, Dr. Kissinger celebrated his 100th birthday, so I wish him well and all the best. So the foreign relations law, which personally I got involved in the early stage of it. So I think that since the founding of the People's Republic of China, we have formulated a lot of policies, concepts, values, rules, practices that turn out to be the cornerstone of China's foreign policy. And in particular, the initiatives and the guiding principles put forward by President Xi Jinping in recent years. So we want to put them into law so that these policies and initiatives could become legitimized so that they can better guide China's foreign policy. So I think that we have something to observe on the legal basis to push forward our foreign policy. So I think this is a very important law, and I believe that it will really benefit China's foreign relations with other countries. And I'm sure that there's a kind of even better transparency of China's policies. And I think that our colleagues and our partners in other parts of the world can have better confidence and better predictability for China's policy. So China's foreign policy will be based on this law. Thank you. 谢谢。谢谢，好，可以。
好，因为时间的关系，我们再来一个提问，这位女士。
部长您好，我是清华大学国际关系学系的演讲和问答环节。今年呢是“一带一路”“一带一路”倡议提出10周年的日子，然后我们也观察到非常多的拉丁美洲国家加入了这个倡议，或者是参与了合作。那么在这个过程中，我们会看到有非常多来自不同发展阶段、发展条件的国家参与了这个倡议。那么我们是如何能够保证这些国家他们的发展目标和价值同我们这个倡议本身的愿景相协调呢？谢谢。
非常感谢你这个问题，我觉得非常好的一个问题。刚才赛利夫女士也回答了一个相近的问题，也就是说，金砖银行是不是只代表一个国家的利益和被一个国家控制？那么他给了很好的回答。那么“一带一路”也是，“一带一路”是中国提出，世界共建，那么就是共同设计，共同建设，同时呢也共同分享这个“一带一路”推进过程中所产生的重要的成果。所以我觉得呢，从它的从开始的策划到具体的建设，都是要实现国与国之间政策的对接、理念的对接。同时在这个过程中，尽管这个倡议是中国提出的，但中国从来不强加于人，一定是找到最好的、最大的公约数，同有关国家呢，在这个货币、在金融、在互联互通、在贸易 在民心相通方面，那么最后形成高度的一致。所以我觉得这个是不矛盾的。同时呢，我刚才强调了，中国追求的发展、追求的合作是一种包容式的，inclusiveness， 这是一种包容式的发展，是相互尊重的、平等的，同时呢要相互照顾的。所以从这一点来讲呢，那么从我们这个推进“一带一路”推进10年了，那么说现在看来呢，这个推进的效果还是很好的，各国都是非常满意的，没有人抱怨我们说中国强加于人，没有这样，只是双方要共同去推进。我看到我的这个好同事啊，这个还没有跟他打招呼，这个是印度尼西亚的前外长，哈桑。哈桑外长啊，我也很早就认识，我在印尼当大使我也认识。现在我们很高兴看到雅万铁路，就雅加达到万隆的铁路，马上就要通车了，已经试运行了。哎，这样一条铁路能省这个旅行者多长时间呢？比开车至少省4个小时。啊，我当时在印尼的时候，想从这个雅加达到万隆，因为我知道路堵，我特意是凌晨2点钟出发，等我到了万隆的时候已经7点了，卡车、摩托车多的是，啊，现在只有不到1小时时间就把这个铁路已经通了。那么这是一笔投资巨大的一个项目，但是在这个过程中，我们同印尼的伙伴，那么就这个铁路的设计、造价、实施、监管，以及它后来的运行，那么进行了多轮的磋商，最后达成的共识。是这样一条铁路最终将造福这个印度尼西亚的人民，所以我觉得这样的一种相互尊重啊、平等互利的这样的精神，是推进“一带一路”建设的最根本的这样的原则。所以我觉得本着这样的原则，那么通过这个共享共建，那么共建共享，那么我们觉得我们就会使这个“一带一路”啊能够持续的强有力的向前推进。同时也很高兴知道你是清华大学的国际关系学院的学生，欢迎你在毕业后报考中联部，谢谢你。谢谢。
好，尊敬的各位嘉宾、各位朋友，时间总是有限，我们今天的演讲会啊，就只能到此告一段落，让我们再次用热烈的掌声对刘部长表示衷心的感谢。也感谢大家的参与。今天的午餐会和主持演讲会到此结束，谢谢大家。
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our keynote speech. You're welcome to continue the discussions and enjoy your lunch. The second plenary will start at 2:30 p.m. Please leave the simultaneous interpretation earphones on your seats before leaving.
下载中天新闻网 App 抽奖拿好康，小七咖啡很多人都有抽到，下一个幸运者可能就是你。国立海洋科技博物馆门票1张，位在基隆的国立海洋科技博物馆，最棒的亲子一日游室内景点，快来试试手气哦！下载中天新闻网 App 参加抽奖。新北水岸河滨自行车租借优惠券，平日租借只要5折，立刻下载中天新闻网 App 参加抽奖，就有机会5折畅游新北水岸。宜兰苏澳立桨冲浪体验优惠券，你有玩过立桨吗？没有的话，今年夏天不妨赶快体验一下，快来抽9折券。旺币最高一次抽到300枚旺币，累积足额可以换快点购折价券。下载中天新闻网 App 后，输入推荐代码，任选一个账号注册，填写完资料，来到中天复古乐园戳戳乐，上面5项大奖项等你抽，赶快来下载中天新闻网 App 抽奖拿好康。